Here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat 2500 McCree. This is on PC. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff.
Behavior, Captain.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
We have our Cree.
Objective A.
Hey Adam. Looking forward to the good content. Who are you and what have you done with Adam? No, this one was from the freebie hopefuls in the Discord. Yep, we got it back yesterday afternoon. Yeah.
Gotta work on that, eh?
Okay, so this isn't really a thing we can do. Like, we're here.
Enemy C. Defend objective
We're gonna push up. I'm good with this, and we're pressuring Hog from the angle. Fine. We reload. We can shoot the Mercy. We really can't go further than this. As soon as we see the Kree, this pushes over. Our team isn't giving us enough of a distraction here for us to continue to push this, especially after we've spent our flashbang. So this is like an immediate back. Back, good.
Need a doctor.
You got the right idea here.
Gotta work on that, eh?
Why are you here? Why have you now pushed forward? You don't have your cooldowns back. This is the direction that your team is pushing. You're not like pushing forward to stun a Reinhardt so your Reinhardt can pin him or shatter him or something. What are you doing? If your team was pushing here, you might be able to get this aggressive. If you had a Reinhardt with you to enable you to sort of give you a pocket to work in, you could potentially push this aggressive. But you can't do it right now. You got to be playing more here-ish where you've got cover, not just walking at them. Especially not before your cooldowns are active. There was no reason for you to be there. There we go. There's the follow-up from Adam. Just kidding. This review sucks. Don't listen to him. McCree, let's all throw tomatoes at this guy with no heater. There we go. This one was on Reddit, though? Oh, was it? That's not where I pulled it from. I might go repost a link to it there because I didn't realize that. But yeah, I saw this was posted in my freebie hopefuls.
I am claiming the objective.
They cross-posted, I guess. So, like, again, here you are. This is happening, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna push. And I can deal with this. Your Mercy had no business going up there, and you can't be here anymore. And I hope you recognize that and go right. Fine. Just enforce your angle. You do not want to push into this. You have no interest in pushing into this. This one was on Reddit, though. YouTube removed the link, but I sent it to you on Discord. Got it. Thank you. I'll post it, but I'll post it thereafter. It's fine. Thank you. Okay. Enemy playing McCree on defense when he has an attack hero, red team wins. No, that's not a thing anymore. I mean, it was never really a thing, but... Good. Challenge from here. This is fine. Don't challenge. Don't open the challenge down main. Until your team's pushed them back a little, until you've pushed them back a little, don't bother. Now you can push. You can push during your Zarya pushing. See how your Zarya's doing this? Like, a couple things have happened. You've pushed their tanks back. We like that, so that's one green flag for our push. It's not enough. They don't have hook, that's another one. The Zarya's back in position, which is annoying, but now your Zarya's pushing. So you pushed back their hog doesn't have his hook, their Zarya's in an annoying position, but your Zarya's pushing, she's using her personal bubble. This is as good a chance as you're going to get to try to either open your angle more sharply to maybe go, hey, I'm going to push, or open the angle a little bit and realize, oh shoot, I need to push back McCree before I can push. So maybe you open the angle and shoot at Cree. If you want to stay here and shoot Zarya, that's potentially fine, but we do have to make a push happen at some point, which is going to be tough with our double off-tank combination. Hey, Whisper! Adula says, hey there, Temporal. Thank you for dedicating this review to my brother's VOD. He really appreciates it. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Let's not challenge Widow at that range, unless we absolutely have to. Sure. What's that crosshair placement? Okay, there's no one there. There's no one there. We see that there are no opponents here, so our crosshair should be here. And we should swing it as we rotate out. So, like, we're here, and we should be going, and we should be going like this. As we rotate through here, we should be going like this, which should be like this, so that we can see people as early as possible in getting out here. We don't want to go, like, out here and then turn, and we don't want to go, like, let me walk out here and now turn. We want to turn as we're opening the angle, so that someone is available to us to shoot at as quickly as possible. That's what we want to do. It's Mohammed typing. I was actually testing if you could shoot through the hole there, so it wasn't focusing at that moment. Sorry, I don't know exactly when that is. Oh, do you mean right here? You're testing if you could shoot? Yeah, you can. And you were. You got shots through here earlier. The bars at the bottom of the trees. Ah, oh, you're trying to shoot at the bottom of the trees? Oh, through those. Got it. Yeah, that I don't know. Okay. He's particularly bad at reading words the YouTube algorithm doesn't like. True. Cover. Adjust for cover. Better. Worse. We're just challenging in the open and it hurts. Better. Don't. Why do you think you can beat her like this? This, I'll accept. I don't love it, but I'll accept it. What is this? Like, at some level, hey, off-angling is nice, but why do you think you can beat Widow in the open? Like, no. No. Not a thing. Roadhog could repeat you. Widow can just beat you. An enemy could show up here. Enemies that aren't Roadhog could show up here. Like this, why do you think you can be here? You could maybe be here, but you couldn't have rotated to here. You, as much as it sucks, you just had to play around this corner or rotate your way up through here and play from here. This, like, let me just swing wide into the open. No. If you just start taking damage, there's nothing you can do but hope your opponents can't aim. That's not a success recipe in Overwatch. It'll work for you sometimes, but it won't work for you reliably enough, and it'll work worse and worse as you go higher. Questionable. Like, you don't really need this. It's not some, like, super, super high value ult, so if you get in a limb that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten, we'll deal. You didn't really. I'm probably going to say you're staggering them hard enough that it makes sense to invest the time in going this way. It's close. Sure. That's fine. You traded out reasonably. It's not all right, but the outcome is acceptable. There was a luchador wrestler here in Overwatch that could climb walls and jump off to flatten people. That could be fun. Walk around Q, and it's going to. Hoping for a good Q here. I mean, if we were going to get a good Q here, it wouldn't have been this Q. It would have been this Q, or potentially like a falling Q from here type thing. Sure. Don't wander out here. What are you doing? No! Right here. Play from right here. You can shoot over this thing. You can shoot at your opponents. If you don't like it, you can close the angle. You can close the angle on them. I see the Winston bubble, but the Winston bubble is soft cover. It's temporary cover. It could break. Hog could break this pretty darn quickly if you wanted. Quick 2 shots. Like, we're not going to rely on this. We're going to be like, yeah, it's cool and all, but we don't want to be here because the barrier could break and then we're stuck. We want to be like here where we can still shoot at the opponents just fine, but can transition into real cover. Not this. Sure. Didn't really need to advance on that. So, like, I don't hate it. You're just choosing to play a very aggressive Cree that goes in for flash eliminations like this a lot. But now you need to think, where are you going to adjust to? Where are you going to play? That Hog's a bit of a problem. You're choosing to focus on that, but, like, think about where you're positioned. You're positioned after going for your aggressive play in this place where, yeah, I'm going to do this and trade for their mercy. Well, they're a little closer to their spawn than you are because you haven't checked this yet. And, oh, look, you're threatened from this direction. You know that there's a Hog over here. You know that there's a Kree over here. Like, this leaves you in a place where you're threatened from a lot of directions. I don't really like that you rolled in for this mercy elimination in the first place. I'm totally fine with a quick flank play, but you really want your flank plays to happen in places where you're not then in the middle of the team. You're behind the enemy team. You're to the side of the enemy team, not to when you're then in the middle, which you are with this one. So you probably just don't go in with this one. You just stay back here and calmly pick them off with mid-range work as opposed to doing maybe the easier flash elimination play. The flash elimination play is good, but again, you do that when you try to come in behind them, or sometimes you do that from the front or at a little bit of an off angle and then your team walks into them, not in a situation where it leaves you in the middle of the enemy team. Was trying to farm the ult very fast. Yes, but no one cares about your ult. You're McCree. Like, you having your ult here isn't some, well, now I have my ult and I can do something. I mean, it's perfectly reasonable to use your ult to reload to get more regular neutral play elimination. So, like, your ult's not that good. We just want the regular neutral play elimination. If our ult gets us in the limb, great, but not from a terrible position. Like, you put yourself in a position where to get your ult this fight, you were then not going to be in a good position to use this ult this fight, so it didn't really matter. Eliminated McCree's don't ult, it's true. No, he just wanted me to review something because GameBuster was more interested in watching a review than he was a review of gameplay rather than a review of a guide. That's all. Next Overwatch hero has to be eliminated at ult. That'd be a great twist. That could be a fun one.
This is not your time.
Or maybe someone whose ult gets better the more opponents on the opposing team are eliminated. Little counter design there where it's like, well, you kind of need to ult in, like, do you want to ult in a 6v5? Do you want to ult in like a 5v5? Do you want to ult in a 6v3? Well, you don't need it in a 6v3. That could get fun.
I need a doctor.
You have a bad habit of rolling into the enemy team as soon as I see an opponent where I can flash. Right, and we want to do that from angles generally, and we want to do that when it leaves us outside the enemy team, not in the middle of the enemy team where they surround us.
Oh, jeez. That'll learn you.
Our enemy returned.
I think to support who can continually heal while respawning, but with much reduced effectiveness and can't contest in that form? Maybe. Okay.
Never much like you.
Okay.
Baptiste, let's get the payload moving.
I mean, I can go back here, so here we are. This fight happens. You're doing this. This is appropriate. Anna just sees you. Unfortunate. You happen to take her out.
Never much like
And you can do this. You can absolutely do this. You go for Mercy. You should immediately swap McCree. You're going to go back for this. Yeah, this is a little dicey. Like, I don't mind going for this, but you don't have your role, and you sort of immediately know you can't make it, and now you've put yourself again in this situation where you are very potentially surrounded by threats. We'd have preferred to just stay here and pick people off and sort of use this as a cover, especially because our team is sort of backing off, and we need our team crossfiring. If we're here, the enemies can come in here and fight us, and we're actually in trouble. If we're here, even if we're using this as our cover, the enemy team, in order to push us, is faring fire from our team who we expect to be over here, which gives us a little more protection if we can't actually get out. People thought I wanted a VOD review of my gameplay. That's what I thought, and I think other people did too, yeah. But that's okay. We cleared it up.
Let's get the payload moving.
Might be on tilt.
Well, I
Might
was
be,
just
don't
concerned
care.
that I'd like accidentally showed my calendar or something on stream, which is like, that's not good if I did that. Not because there's anything particularly like, oh, that I don't want people to see on there, but it's just not a good habit. I like to be aware when I'm showing things on stream, etc. That's the reason that I freaked out a little. Freak out is a strong word, but hey.
I've sighted the enemy.
Rest in Rest in peace.
Okay. Your Winston is not going to push right now. And the reason your Winston's not going to push right now is his bubble just broke. And if his bubble just broke, even if they're down there Reinhardt, even if they're down a couple people, you should be thinking about this and recognizing that, hey, my team is also down people. My Anna would have to rotate up to support this. My Winston bubble is gone. We're not really in a hard push situation right now. And if we're not really in a hard push situation right now, do I really want to spend my ult? Like, on one hand, hey, they're Valking. Maybe that makes ulting attractive. On another hand, hey, everyone's down people, so the fight's sort of simplified, so there's less likely to be cooldowns like Sleep, like Hook, that answer my High Noon. But this is, like, the angle that they can protect against if they can protect against any angle. This isn't from here. This isn't from here. This isn't even from here. This isn't from here. Like, this is the angle that they can defend against. We don't really like main high noons unless they're to help our team rotate in, and our team isn't really able to rotate in right now. So yeah, not our favorite high noon. And then you pulled when he breathed, and he, of course, gets 50% damage reduction, so that doesn't work.
Need a duck.
Okay, so here you are. You're doing this. Your cover is payload currently? Sure. What's your cover now? No one's in front of you. You don't really want to be in the front line as McCree. You could be here. You could be on an angle. You could be on an angle. If you were here, I wouldn't be upset. If you were here, I wouldn't be upset. I don't mind if you're in front of your team if you're on an angle. I do mind if you're in front of your team on the same sight line as your team. So, like, they are shooting at your team generically, or they're shooting at their Moira and they hit you type thing, rather than your hog. That we don't like. We don't like that. If we're going to be in front, we better be on an angle, or we better be in Orion's pocket type thing. I did just have the May review and haven't played much May after that review. Been way too busy. Fair enough. Gamebuster should get his own playlist. We've covered this before. Don't forget Miss Temporal's birthday in 3 days. There's a Miss Temporal. Who do you think knits the scarves? Waldo. Okay. Does replay mimic the gameplay exactly? I have noticed that the packet losses I experienced while playing also show up here, like the gun shooting twice. Sorry, Wally. Okay. No replays don't match gameplay perfectly. It tries to recreate it through, well, anyway, it's technical, yeah. Waldo/Wally had a girlfriend. They were perfect for each other as they both had extreme commitment phobia. Okay.
Why is the payload from afar? 60 seconds. My will made real.
So, like, this is... Okay. I was about to say this is a more appropriate high noon area, but then you use the high noon as a blade counter. Fine. We don't love that you opened the angle quite this far. We wanted to be closing the angle when we were trying to deal with that blade, but that's minor.
This life's never uneventful.
Flanking for Q. Flanking for Q would have been cool. Like, flanking over, you know, going, hey, we're going to Q this match, and hey, going, hey, as our team approaches, was pushing through here. We're not going to push this way. We're instead going to push this way. We'll transition to this lane. We'll threaten them from behind to make it easier for our team to push in. That would have been better free play, but that's okay. It didn't happen. Genji.
Rest in peace.
It's okay. Yeah, you basically did nothing this entire offense after Statue. At Statue, you did a little bit of off-angle control. After that, you basically played 0 off-angles. No, you played a tiny bit here. But you did pretty minimal off-angle control. There was nothing in terms of pushing through and putting pressure from here or up here. You didn't then retake this. You didn't ever take control up over here. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. You might think King's Row is one lane. I think a lot of people like King's Row because they're like, oh, it's simple. It's kind of one lane. It's not one lane. It's 3 lanes all the way through. So, like, the off-angle control needs to happen, And what it needs to happen is it needs to happen instead of this playing at the front of your team thing. Like, I know you're probably feeling McCree's range nerf a little bit. Maybe that's pulling you forward. I think more what's pulling you forward is you want to use your abilities, but you get pulled forward even before your abilities are ready, and you like end up in front of your team. And that's not okay. If you want to end up in front of your team, it should be because your team is here and you're choosing to be over here. Congratulations, you are in front of your team relative to the enemies, but you're on an angle. And being on an angle with cover available, makes it much, much more okay. It's still not perfect. You can get caught like you ultimately got caught here, but if you understand how it works, you can make it hard to catch you. You can go, okay, well, if you try and catch me, my team's going to shoot you in the back type stuff. So we're looking for a lot more angle play and a lot less frontlining on your Kree here. We could do a bit with your crosshair placement. We could look a little bit at your reloads because there is some there, though it's not terrible. We could definitely talk more about your high noons, but your high noons, as a third point, are going to be enhanced by that angle play. So we really want to think about that. And in terms of going for your flash plays, going for those sort of things, we like those flash plays. Those flash plays are good. But they work even better when you do them from an angle, and that also they work better when you're aware of your opponent's angle and you don't end up in the middle of the opposing team, but you instead take care of this and the entire opposing team is this direction of you. So no one is then shooting you from back here type thing. So you hit them from the side, you hit them from the back, you try to deal with people with your flashbang play that doesn't leave you in a hot spot there.
Round 1 complete. Initiate
God, McCree shooting Genji is so satisfying. Sure. Where was deflect? When I fight Genji, they have a 9-minute deflect. Still better than oof. Poor guy, the one soldier. You like Genji being eliminated. When other people do, they never have deflect. I hear you, Blah. Alex will grab Genji, and then spam you have failed your team. Okay. Could reach out to him, invite him to get a temporal VOD review. There's an idea. Him equals RD jersey, sure.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Oof.
I can't wait to get into the fight. Think you can keep up with me?
Oh, that'll do.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective
You like to hide in the building next to the bus? Depends what hero you're playing. You only got that because the Reaper. Ouch. The one with the M. Okay, May. Got it. Okay. Reloading for sustain. But then behind cover for the entire duration of your reload. So that doesn't really make sense. You didn't need to roll to get to cover. You weren't in danger. So this just puts your roll on cooldown for no reason. And this is way slow. This is not really the time to push in. There's going to be too much awareness of you here. Because this team had to make a turn. They had to make a turn. It's not quite that sharp, but they had to make a turn. So there was always going to be backline that was aware of you and paying attention to you. So this is not the kind of time that we want to push them. We could push these guys once they got up to here. Once this had advanced and was just them going like this, we could push in like this into the back of them, and that would be fine. We can poke from here. We can sustain from here, be like, hey, I'm shooting from this angle while my team's shooting from this angle. That's fine. But we don't want to commit in with any sort of flash role plays. Because also, if we use our flash and don't get him, he now knows he can push us with his support, and we're going to be in trouble. But like in general, we don't want the going in that happens. If we're going in, we're forcing our play, and then we're stuck because we used our roll, we used our flash that we would need to defend ourselves, and some of the people behind this person immediately see it happen, so they're likely to be able to protect him with heals if he wasn't purple, and they're likely to be able to extract you faster. They're likely to be able to peel for him. So this is what I'm talking about. If we have to understand, we don't go in when it puts us in the middle of the enemy team. We go in when this guy's moved on, and these two are now in this box, and then we go in. Right now, though, it's not bad to be here, though we shouldn't have used our roll to get here. This should just be poke work. We're poking at the McCree. If the McCree pushes us, we can pull back a little bit and still be fine. Hiding where supports can't see you. It can cause such problems for your team. As BAP, you can throw a frisbee and pray. Okay, you guys are talking about that. Fine. Back to our McCree.
Gotta work on that,
Again, your rolls are so funny to me. Okay, you're behind cover. You're good. You're behind cover. Totally fine. If you wanted to stay out in the open, you could have used your combat roll to sustain so that you could fire more shots. Or if you were out in the open and you didn't like that you were taking pressure or felt like you were about to take pressure, you could have combat rolled to cover. You are going to elect to go, I am now behind cover, and now I shall combat roll, and I shall combat roll over to here. And if I wanted to play from this angle, sure, I get here a tiny bit faster by combat rolling, but I could have walked and completed my regular reload, my normal reload, by the time I got here without having lost anything, and then be over here with 6 bullets. Like, this is not... And you did the same thing when you transitioned the other direction. Stop it. Stop it. You're not really looking to use your combat roll to transition when you're safe. You're looking to use your combat roll to let you sustain on an off angle, on an open angle, or to sort of help you get out, get back behind cover. It's not to transition between covers like this, especially when the enemy... It's not to transition between cover... It's not to transition between angles when you're safe, which is how you're using it right now. Just get ult every clip and use that to reload. The math doesn't quite work, unfortunately. You should already be rotating into hotel. Nope, you're gonna deal with fair instead. Fine.
Heroes never die.
See how the fight's happening right here, and they're kind of stuck in here, and they're not able to quickly rotate through here. Imagine if you'd used some of this time to go here, but Junkrat did it, so that'll be fine. You can't do that. So, you don't get to just flashbang at Genjis that know you're there. They're too likely to deflect. And as they get better, they'll actually react to your deflect. But even at this level, Genjis are either going to deflect when they first see that you see them, which is like right now. So he'd pop deflect, you'd pop flashbang, and you'd get flashbanged. Or they're going to pop deflect when their health gets low enough that they go, oh shoot, don't want to get hit again. So generally as a rule, you can't flashbang a Genji unless you know he doesn't have deflect, so you've already forced his deflect or you've seen his deflect forced, or you don't think he's aware of you. So like you sneak up on him and you flashbang him. You flashbang him from the side, from the back while he's distracted type thing. This Genji is clearly aware of you and just dashed at you and is too likely to either react to your flashbang with deflect, with good reaction time, or to go, okay, I don't have that good a reaction times, but I know one of the times that McCree is likely to flashbang is right when I show up. So I'm going to deflect in the hopes that he flashbangs right now. So you can't do this. You can't. Like, you can't. That doesn't work for you. You have to hit him with left clicks to get deflect first, unless you know that he doesn't have deflect, or you know he's not, or you believe he's not paying attention to you. Kree's not a great fair counter. It's true. Especially with that pocket. He got some mercy help, though. Muhammad got some mercy help as well for dealing with the pharmacy. Bye, Genji. How is this enemy Genji Plat? Thank goodness you have a Junkrat to deal with the Pharah. That range you're doing 20 to 40 damage. Mercy can effortlessly out-heal that. I know. But he had a bit of Diva help. He had a bit of Mercy help as well. Taking down lots of Pharaohs as Junkrat. It's how you arc the mind. True. If he's deflecting, should I try and flashbang over or underneath him? If you want, yeah, you can learn how to flashbang him appropriately, but he can move into it. He can recognize what you're trying to do and jump up or walk forward to still reflect the deflect at you, or still get the flashbang at you by changing where his hitbox is. So it's an option. I find it's a more reliable option when you actually have a wall to force the flashbang explosion on to get him, rather than the floor or above him. I also don't find that much of a need to take him down through deflect, especially if you have a Mercy paying some attention to you. It's just like, get his deflect, and then once his deflect is over, once he cancels it, whatever, take him down.
Easy.
Healing stream engaged.
Okay, take an angle, take high ground. If you're dedicated to fighting this pharmacy, you might as well take high ground.
Walk it off.
You had plenty of time to go chill up here. And you can be like, pew, 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 and then if they're too far away, you just back a little, and then as they get closer, because they do have to get closer, you re-peek the angle and you do work. That'd be fine. Also, it would give you a nice off angle, and you can again go, I'm just going to hide, let them come in a little bit, and then once the team is a bit closer, you pop the high noon as the team is pushing into here, and they go, oh shoot, and you hit the massive high noon that takes out their Flyers combo, as well as doing some groundwork.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Need healing.
You're going to.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Heroes never die.
It's time.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, I don't really want to fight that Ash either.
It's high noon.
Why? What do you see that's worth high nooning right now? The opposing team isn't Valking. The opposing team doesn't have any ult power going. You guys do have ult power going right now. Like, they don't seriously want to push into you. I don't see anything that you're going to take down. Like, you're not turning around the push. You wanted to hit this high noon as the other team was sort of committing onto a push into you. You're not on offense. You're not really interested in taking more space than you guys currently have. The space that you have is fine. This doesn't really help. You wanted to use this high noon, like you wait here, the enemy team starts to walk in, they're in, and now you turn in high noon. Or if you're really crafty, you just hide right here, you go for the high noon. Even you're here and you wait and you go for the high noon type thing. Not like I'm high nooning down main when the enemy team isn't even committed to pushing. Maybe if the enemy team was like hard pushing with a Valk, you could be like, nope, I'm going to high noon, and at least you're going to cause them to waste half their Valk waiting for your high noon to run out. Maybe. But like, this is not good.
You're powered up. Get in there.
This gunslinger's loaded.
Okay, we nano high noon to deflect.
Do something.
Sure.
The battle continues.
You peeked the grab too wide, or you peeked the pre-grab too wide, but you weren't really too far from your cover there, so when you actually got eliminated,
It'll take more than that.
maybe he just wanted to let them know what time it is. Maybe.
Готовности.
Okay, the thing is, the Pharah focused me. She didn't try to hit any of my mates, so I was telling my mates to protect me, heal me. I mean, that's fine. I don't mind you asking for healing, but like, if she's too focused on you, you know what can work pretty well? You wipe her team and then you hide up here, and she goes and looks around and goes, wait, I'm trying to find the Kree, where's the Kree, where's the Kree? And she's not doing anything as her team moves forward. And then when you do peek, you have some height that puts you closer to her, that makes your fall off range less of a problem, and gives you a better angle for punishing her team, hitting that high noon. She doesn't have as good a cover once she's pushed in a little bit, especially if you have this height angle, all that good stuff. TNT hurts. Oh boy. Don't challenge, don't challenge. Okay. She has iframes. She does have iframes during the res. And you can't really afford to shoot early because your clip size is pretty small as McCree. Okay, place your bets now. Will this McCree win the match or not? Good question. I think I know the answer, but hey. I don't want to push this. Why do I want to push this? Why are you here? Your angle is fine. When your Zarya was up here, maybe it made sense, but you don't have your Zarya up there anymore, so why are you in front of your team? Good. Back. Back. Okay. Better. Yeah. You guys didn't really have angle control. You were all stacked right here. Again, even if it's out of your fall-off range, if your whole team is going to stack here and your Junkrat wants to be here, well, he has range limitation issues too, you're going to have to play a little more here. I get it, it's not ideal, but you just don't even have to peek them. You can just like play here and wait, and then when they start to turn to fight your team, aha, you get to shoot them in the side type thing. Little bit of angling helps.
This lap's never uneventful.
Quality tire by Junk. Ouch. Ouch. Let's not challenge the Mercy Boosted Ash. Let's please not challenge the Mercy Boosted Ash. You can effectively one-shot us. It's not actually a one-shot, but still. Yeah. You do need your team as an adequate distraction to push. And your Junkrat, who's eliminated, is not an adequate distraction. You see this? You see how you're in front of your entire team again? And you're not on, say, an angle over here in front of your entire team? You're trying to get to an angle, which I appreciate, but you're not on it. There wasn't time to take this angle. You might have been able to go over here and then more safely take this angle, but there just wasn't time to take this angle. And you can't go like, oh, full steam ahead, forward. That's not going to work. You are not bulky enough for that. That extra 25 HP you have, it's really helpful for changing like the Genji matchup. It's not super helpful for like, oh, well, now I'm bulky in a tank. No, it's not. Back, back, back. Go take an angle. This angle isn't safe right now. Your team does not have any space. So if your team doesn't have any space, you can go back here, work your way up from this angle. It brings you towards the protection of your team's spawn room, and then you push your way back up with your team, but you get to do it with an angle control, with a small bit of high ground. recognize the status of the fight and what it gives you in terms of the angles you can and can't take.
Thank you. Muchas quiero.
Do something! Feeling deja vu.
This lap's never uneventful.
It's high noon. It's high noon.
It's early, but I can't really fault it. Okay.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Fire at will.
Okay.
Victory.
It's angles. It's literally all angles. In general, I don't want you spearheading the team charge. If people get eliminated in front of you, you need to adjust your positioning, get tighter on cover, get to an off angle from your team. But I don't want you to be in a situation where you are in front of your team down main. If you're in front of your team on an off angle from your team, that can be okay. But I do not want you in front of your team down main. Even if you're positioning, you had a hog in front of you, you had a Junkrat in front of you, and then they get eliminated, well, now your positioning is no longer okay. So adjust. Either pull back so that other people are in front of you or get to an angle. Hint, I'm going to want you on an angle quite a bit. But that's the first thing. Stop spearheading pushes, defenses, all that stuff. You're not like action hero, frontliner, whatever, McCree. You're, hey, we take angles, we get work done, we're sneaky, we're crafty like that. That's what we're looking to do. First thing, most important thing, don't spearhead. Second thing, please take your angles. Your angles are going to help with everything. Your angles are going to make your roll-in plays better, and I really think you do too, not I really think, you do too many of the flash plays from the side. Flash play from the side is a very valid tactic. I like it. It's a good thing. It's not the only thing you can do. It is very powerful as well just to hold an off angle from the side and shoot your peacemaker. Like just go, hey, we have that. Team's here. I'm shooting from here. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy shooting from here. Pretty happy shooting from here while my team shoots from here. It's good. The go-in play, totally fine, but make sure you're hitting the team from the side or hitting the team from the back, not you're hitting the team when they still have more people back here that can hit you. If they can do that, well, we're just going to stay here and go do that. If we have to deepen our angle further to actually get them in the back when they're going through, that's perfectly fine with us. We're happy to do that. Cool. That works. So again, we're not frontlining, first step. Second step, for our off angle, for our flash plays, we're actually going into the back or the side of the team. We're not going into the team when the team can still see us and is instantly going to aware of us, nor are we going into, whoops, the middle of the team. And the third thing is, high noon also needs to come from off angles. Yes, there's a high noon down main thing that is useful for helping you rotate. Yes, there's a high noon down main thing that is useful for delaying a team's push when they've already popped ultimates that they might be trying to push with, like support ults, maybe a rally, maybe a Valk, something along those lines. Sure. But primarily, if you're trying to get eliminations with your high noon needs to come from angles. And you can wait. You can afford to go, I'm not getting poke damage done right now. I'm waiting because I'm like investing power in waiting and not giving away my position, knowing I'm going to get a bigger payoff when they do push. So I can like afford to not be seen right here. It's the same principle as rotating while a fight is going on. You're investing your time in the fight to have a bigger payoff when it comes off. And it can be okay if you do the appropriate equation of how much time am I investing versus how much payoff am I likely to get from it. So like, again, in order, first thing, don't spearhead the charge. Second thing, play from the angles. Play from the angles, play from the angles. It enables your high noon. High noon comes from angles, all that good stuff. Third thing, when you're going in for your flashbang play, make sure that no one can actually see you before you go in for it. Don't go into the middle of the team to it. Go into the side or the back of the team as they're passing through once they don't have eyeballs on you anymore. Those are the three things. I'd really like you to tackle them in roughly that order. You can play around with 2 and 3 enough. You do so much of the flashbang play thing that you might put that in the 2 slot, but angles are so important that it's a little bit of a toss-up. But I want you to work through those with like 5 to 15% of your brain power focused on the one thing you're trying to improve on. The rest of your brain power you need to play the game, to aim, to think about who's going to be where, to have your tactics, your movement, all that good stuff. Most of your brain power goes into that good stuff. But then 5 to 15% of it while you're playing for somewhere from like 5 to 50 games is specifically focused on that one thing that you're working on. And then once that one thing isn't just like, hey, you can do the one thing, but is like part of your autopilot. Like you get it, that's what you're doing, you understand it, you don't even have to think about it, your gameplay just seeks to automatically do it. Then you stop paying attention to it and move on to the next piece of your gameplay, because I gave you 3 things here that are related. They're all tied to angles, they're all tied to positioning really, but are not the same thing. Then you move on to the second thing. You start getting in there. That looks good. Hey, we like it. And then you move on to the third thing after you've worked the second thing into your autopilot. So that's what I've got for you. If you or anyone else has questions, you can throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. See what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. What would you say are the bullet points I should be focusing on? Just gave them to you. Will the 2 p.m. review be live streamed as well? I believe that one is a live stream. Yes. Let me quickly check. Yeah, it's a live stream one. Okay. Okay, the person we're reviewing says, thank you very much for the VOD review, Temporal. My brother really appreciates it. No problem, no problem. I'm glad he enjoyed it. If there's any final questions, you guys can throw them up now. If not, I may move on because I do have another review that I'll be hopping into in a moment here. Fair focused you say lose. We saw what happens. Because running the tire straight down main is how you do it? No, it is not. Junkrat was doing his best to cause a distraction. Better distraction when they don't know where it is when they're looking frantically. But yes, the word feed, maybe throw to. Poor Red Mercy. Today's RD jersey of the match is Venom. Oof. Okay, have a great day. Why isn't adding Patreon on your calendar? That's an excellent question that I don't have the answer to right now. Oh, I'm not going to share the answer to. Okay, that's going to do it for now, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will be up in just a few minutes. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.